how can we be more like Jesus if we don't really know what sort of person he is? So reading the Bible is really important for me.
Helps kind of alter my perspective on like my own situation, and brings me back to God's character, who he is and what he's done.
God, in terms of having a relationship with God and relationship with anybody, you can't really ever do that without speaking to them. So prayer, just basically having a conversation with God, is really important to me.
And I think that is more important than trying to study. And it's the difference between learning something in your head and your heart.
And I do make it a discipline of mine to always be conscious of those on the fringes. I am that annoying person. If someone's sitting on their own, I will go up to them.
Spending some time in the garden, just knowing that there's so much more going on out there, and
what is fasting. And I found that useful as somebody that really, really likes food and different things. So I've tried fasting on different occasions and on different things, not just food. And it's really helped me to just be still and to listen and to hear from God as well.
Challenge to me, I'm quite busy, I like to be active, and just to sit still in his presence has been really hard for me. But I think also it's been one of the things that has helped me grow in my understanding and my awareness of God's presence with me just throughout the day.
There's so much stuff bombarding us in the world, just from stress, problems, the media, just there's so much noise. And I think what's really kind of hit is taking that time where we can be quiet before the Lord.
So often at the end of the day, try and spend a few minutes thinking of things that I can be thankful for during the day.
I personally feel I worship God best when I'm working for him. And I think that is a really, really powerful form of worship. I think service is a powerful form of worship because it's what he calls us to do. And that's where I feel I worship God and honour him the most, is by doing for others.
I think worship can be just like offering the day to God.
I love worship. I'm a Jamaican, Caribbean, and, when I remember who he is and what he's done for me, I can do nothing but worship him. You worship it spirit to spirit, and sometimes it's just a feeling, a love thing, and a restful thing.
When we are being what God called us to do, that's a form of worship, that obedience, that laying down what we want to do and then going after God and doing what he calls us to do. So that worship is expressed when we love one another. God commanded us to love one another. So as we love each other, that's a form of worship.
Meeting together and doing life together, and kind of worshipping God together as well, I think is really important.
So just, sitting in the lounge, putting some music on over the speakers and either singing along or just listening to it flow through. Going for walks and just seeing God's amazing creation that he's given us to enjoy, and just marveling at the awe of God.
There's 3 of us. We have a trio in our family. My husband sings as well. And so our singing is a big thing for us as a family.
Quite often I have hymns that come into my head, that there could be things that I haven't heard for a long time.
But consciously just like declaring who God is and bringing him praise, I find really helps me to kind of become in a more sort of worshipful place.
Just songs about who God is, about what he's done for us, about how much he loves us, to kind of sing that over one another, I think can be so encouraging. And
I think it's quite powerful to worship with others. It's like a collective thing towards God. It spurs me on in faith that I see others worshipping.
You're not doing it for people to see, but it's good to know that you inspire somebody just the same way others inspire me to worship.
You contemplate what it is that his body was broken for us.
That was real. It's real. He shed his blood. He bled and died for me, gave up his body.
Reminds me that I'm saved, but then also that I can live a different life as well.
The sacraments is a reflection of relationship. It's a covenant, an opportunity to see the grace of God demonstrated and to recommit, renew our commitment.
You get very familiar with the words that are used beforehand, and it's quite easy to just kind of take communion and not think about it.
It makes me feel like we're all one. It doesn't matter what our difference is or where we're coming from. We're all one.
You know that there are other people around the world, in other parts of Birmingham, who are doing the same. So
if Jesus did it, I think we should do it as well.